Hello, everyone. Welcome,
Hello.
welcome to the Midnight Hour. It's the Extraordinary Experience, a new series that'll be on this channel temporarily, but eventually will move on to its own channel. And introducing, there is Matt.
Hello.
He is straight up above me.
Hello, everyone.
So I'm
Welcome
looking,
to the Extraordinary Experience.
I'm looking up at you, up there, all the way on the top of the screen. Right. So this is a new show.
When I look down, all I see is my lap.
Yeah. Okay. Well, this is kind of a couple of preliminary shows that are going to lead into an edited episode. So, I'm going to try a couple different things and see how things work for this new show setup. And we'll have the laptop on with the chat on the internet. So, if people have questions, you can comment. But there's a possibility that the laptop Wi Fi might not pick up everything right away. There might be a delay. Because occasionally you have to force it to refresh if it doesn't keep up with the feed. But anyways, it is the midnight hour, and it's also a full moon this night. Luna,
How appropriate.
Luna, the largest satellite around Earth, and some would say man-made. Have you heard this theory
Though
yet?
some people would be crazy. What?
Well, there are some people that do believe that the moon is man-made.
The moon. There are some people who believe that the moon is made of cheese.
Hmm.
These are fact.
Historically, that is
These are
true.
fact.
Now, before we get into more in-depth discussion on topics I have notes for, why don't we pull up the why don't we pull up the Wikipedia and look up
Uh-oh.
the moon?
Uh-oh. Uh,
You have internet?
device for interneting. Um, this device is being used for
What's your
video.
wait, what's your computer
This
being used for?
device is being used for reviewing the stream.
Oh, you don't have to review the stream.
Uh, uh,
This will all be
okay.
fixed in editing.
Yeah, we're pros. Yeah.
No, it's not necessary for you
Oh,
to watch
fingers.
at the same time. Except to make sure that it starts. It should keep going once that is done. Alright. So
Luna redirects to a page called the moon. Go figure.
that is the moon.
It's a picture of the moon.
I call it Luna.
Um, what do you want to know? I have a veritable treasure trove of information here at my disposal, literally at my fingertips.
And what are the most basic facts about our moon?
It is a astronomical body that orbits the planet Earth, being Earth's only permanent natural satellite. It is the fifth largest natural satellite in the solar system and the largest among planetary satellites relative to the size of the planet that it orbits. Following Jupiter's satellite Io, the Moon is second densest satellite among those whose densities are known. The average distance of the moon from the Earth is a lot. It's a big number. 384,400 kilometers, or 2,380,900 miles. It's a lot of miles. Or 1.28 light seconds. That's a much smaller number. Light seconds. The moon is thought to have formed about 4.1 billion years ago, not long after Earth. See, formed, not like created. This isn't a Death Star.
Or is it? Or is it?
Can't speak.
Or
There are several.
is it?
Or is it? I heard. I heard. I just ignored. There are several hypotheses for its origin. The most widely accepted explanation is that the moon formed from the debris left over after a giant impact between Earth and a Mars-sized body called Theia.
Okay, I'm actually going to pull up the browser on my end, just briefly.
The moon's gravitational influence produces ocean tides,
Let's do edge.
body tides, and slight lengthening of the day. Way to go, moon. Legit. Giving us those killer waves.
Let's also use a normal window capture for this. Well, apparently Edge does not capture, as you can see. Microsoft is suspicious of everyone.
Why are you trying to capture a web page? What are you trying to do with it? Are you going to put it on the internet? I mean, technically web pages already are on the internet, so wouldn't it be like internetception?
Yep. I'm trying to capture...
If you put the internet on the internet?
Well, more than likely Edge is blocking OBS because it thinks it's a spying software.
It's very spying.
Yep, a little bit.
Other people spying on us. Because we go live and they watch.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's try Chrome. See if Chrome will work. Anyways, you can keep talking about the moon.
The moon is great. It's made cheese.
Holy crap.
It has, shadows and stuff from things because it's got topography. I think I should probably stick to the Wikipedia page. That's very factual and less interesting, but if I were to just make up stuff about the moon, that'd be super interesting, but not factual. Like, the moon turns green every time that there's a 5th day of the week. True fact. Not a true fact. The Soviets' Luna program was the first to reach the moon with uncrewed spacecraft in 1959.
No, that's not true.
The United States.
Everyone knows the United States did everything first.
Ours was faked. It was in a studio.
Yep, that's what they say.
People were just jumping around like the House of Pain.
That is worthy to note, though, is that the first probe to reach the moon was a Russian, or Soviet, rather.
Uncrewed.
Uncrewed. I know it was uncrewed, but it wasn't...
Uncrewed.
They were also the first... The Soviets were also the first to send a man into orbit.
We were the first to arrive with a crewed
First, yep, touchdown
Crude.
and man on moon.
That's for the pedantics out there, that is CREWED, not CREUD. I think I spelled that right. Maybe CRUDE. Crude. They didn't arrive and were like
There it goes.
they didn't arrive in a cardboard box shuttle with like little windows drawn on it in magic marker. It wasn't that kind of crude space program.
Okay, so Chrome doesn't work, Microsoft Edge doesn't work, but Pale Moon works.
What is Pale Moon? What is?
Isn't that coincidental? The browser
Oh yes.
that works for the video capture today is Pale Moon.
Funny how that works.
Yeah, went through two different high-end corporate browsers, and both of them failed.
Did you try going on a Safari?
Nope, never tried Safari. It's a little too warm for my climate tastes.
Yes.
But anyways, I now have Wikipedia up on the page with us, so we can show everyone.
I skipped a whole paragraph here about gravitational influence. Oh wait, I didn't totally skip it. I talked about the gravitational influence. Gives us killer waves, dude.
You can see up here if you go to Wikipedia to search for moon, and you will find all of the information that is here. And as always, everything that you see on Wikipedia is true.
It's, what's the word I'm looking for? It's crowdsourced, meaning a lot of people write it.
It's most likely true.
There's people that are in charge of being like, hey, what do you think you're doing? Putting not entirely factual information on Wikipedia. People read this and write reports on it.
Yep.
In case you wanted to write a report on the moon. This is why we're here, to tell you things about the moon. Like it being made of cheese and it turning green on every 5th day of the month.
Yep. I'll have to remember this for next time that Chrome doesn't capture, because I had all my bookmarks on Chrome for tonight.
The moon is like hot bread. It has an inner crust and a gooey core. It says internal structure. It talks about the outside. It's made of crust. Oh, I'm kind of hungry now. Damn it. I can't focus. Can't focus on the moon.
Okay, well, back to, I'm going to read something else unrelated to the moon specific. It is related to the moon, but it's not like a direct source about the moon. It's more anecdotal. This is a passage written by a man named Nikola Tesla, published in the Century Illustrated magazine in June 1900. Modern science says the sun is the past, the earth is the present, the moon is the future. From an incandescent mass we have originated, and into a frozen mass we shall return. Merciless is the law of nature, and rapid and irresistibly we are drawn to our doom. Lord Kelvin, in his profound meditations, allows us only a short span of life, something like 6 million years, after which time the sun's bright light will have ceased to shine, and its life-giving heat will have ebbed away, and our own earth will be a lump of ice, hurrying on through an eternal night. But do not let us despair. There will still be left upon it a glimmering spark of life, and there will be a chance to kindle a new fire on some distant star. This wonderful possibility seems indeed to exist, judging from Professor Dewar's beautiful experiments with liquid air, which show that germs of organic life are not destroyed by cold, no matter how intense. Consequently, they may be transmitted through the interstellar space. Meanwhile, the cheering lights of science and arts, ever increasing in intensity, illuminate our path. And the marvels they disclose and enjoyments they offer make us measurably forgetful of the gloomy future. That's Nikola Tesla, 1900.
Smart guy, that.
Yeah. So Nikola Tesla was using the moon as a metaphor in that case, but still, moon and Nikola Tesla. And he was speaking about mankind moving from Earth to another star. As other futurists have also noted, but that was a very early example of people thinking about space travel way back over 117 years ago now. Wow. Yeah.
That is a long time.
But this Midnight Hour show, in addition to being entertaining and showcasing a lot of movies and video games, I'm going to try to put in some kind of informational entertainment in there. And whenever possible, have a panel of guests, speakers, and try to vary up the topics and the opinions based on who is here. So it's not all one-sided all the time with our scientific philosophies or otherwise. And just to give some of the more interesting topics that are going around the internet these days, give them a good amateur breakdown. Not necessarily being like to be like a debunker or anything like that, but to critically look at things that a lot of people on the internet consider to be phenomena or scientific anomalies or that sort of thing, and just present them to a panel of amateur personalities that we know, and see what we come up with. If we have something interesting come up with in our perspectives on those matters. So this will be a work in progress for a few episodes because I'm not quite sure how I want to do the show format, and it probably won't be the same every time, anyways. But and there are some people I'm excited to try to get in on these conversations, like our friend Weston, who has a impeccably interesting perspective on things most of the time. So looking forward to that if that opportunity presents itself in the future.
Yes, definitely looking forward to that.
Okay, now I'm going to shift gears a little bit. I'm going to go back to the moon stuff when we get to the game. That will be the featured game will be is it Moonbase Alpha? Yeah. At first glance, it looked like it was kind of a crappy free game, but it actually looks like it has some sciencey stuff in it.
It's worth noting that this particular channel is not necessarily intended to be explicitly gaming based.
Right. It is actually categorized as talk show on Twitch right now, so the games would actually be less expected in general.
So if that sounds like something that you might enjoy, then please feel free to tune into the midnight hour when it's on. But for tonight, we are going to be playing a game.
Let's see. Do I have any other topics to throw in here? Yeah, I'm just going to briefly mention some of the topics that are going to be on future shows. These are at least target topics of discussion for future discussions with panels of guests, including Nikola Tesla, UFOs, paranormal science, even things like quantum physics and real hard science, and things that are more entertainment related, like movies or video games of a particular genre. But one thing, since we were talking about the moon, though, before we start the game, I want to present Matt with a couple of videos I found on the internet. And I don't think there's any way for me to properly show these on the broadcast, but I can give the links out and I'll post those on the chats. So you guys can watch it on your own and follow along if you want. It's more to get Matt's opinion on these things I have found. Moon related.
Bring it on.
Copy. Okay, now this is to get your honest first reactions and opinions. I'll try my best to just. You might have to describe to people what the video is about, for those that aren't watching it. But in the edits of this, I will have clips of the video in the edited version. But for the live broadcast purposes, I'm going to post it on Discord in the Midnight Hour Research channel. Okay, and I'm also going to go through and post this on Twitch and YouTube.
This first video seems to revolve
Twitch.
around the most mysterious pictures taken on the moon.
Maybe I could use this to capture that too, but I'll just briefly go over it with
are what empower us
browser.
to forge a path and maximize our efficiency. Whether it's for work or for play, the Ram 1500 from the lineup of America's longest-lasting pickups.
And a free advertisement. I don't know if it'll work on full screen though. So. And for the sake of time, feel free to skip ahead and just look at the individual photographs, because there's supposed to be 10 photographs of things on the moon that are mysterious, according to this video.
Well, the first one they showed there claims to be the moon Tower of Babel, and it looks to me just like an error in printing.
And very, very possible. It wouldn't surprise me terribly if there was just formations of rock on the moon too. As things like meteor impact and stuff could make.
See, now this there's actually a very legitimate explanation for this one. On number 9, it's showing a humanoid-looking shadow
Yeah.
on the surface.
The Colossus.
The human mind wants to put shape to objects. It wants to find something that it can identify with. Therefore, we naturally tend to put recognizable shapes, humanoid shapes, faces, things like that in. We recognize patterns when sometimes there aren't any. A lot of this is the people that believe that are going to be the same people that believe that there were demonic faces that were in the smoke in the towers in 9/11.
Yep, I remember people in our class at LTA telling us that there were demons in the smoke. Yep, I remember. Yep, I didn't see anything, but I heard that people saw them. Yeah, that is a good point, though. I have basically the same opinion of the two photos so far. Now, the third one, I think, is the blue light.
Yeah, that's the one that I'm on now.
And I know that they have had things like that in orbit above Earth. I don't know. It's the same kind of atmospheric phenomena.
Anomaly.
Yeah, those are yet unexplained, but not necessarily anything to freak out about. They could just be like mini aurora borealis type things, sun rays. So,
That's possible.
but that's one thing I would say is fair to say we don't know what it is necessarily. So
That is fair.
So long as it's not something like
It
lens.
is interesting though.
If it's not something like lens flare, anyways. It did look like it was one of those light anomalies. Okay, and the fourth, a bizarre structure. They say.
I'm gonna chalk this one up to. Again, it looks like. It just looks like we want to recognize things that aren't necessarily there.
Yep. Yeah, that looks like, again, like it could be a printing error of the photography or the way the image is placed over the. I think a lot of these images are being taken from either old NASA photos or from Google Earth, the moon version. And I think some of those maps or photos are mapped over a three-dimensional object, which causes distortions like that in the terrain. So keep that in mind if we're one of those people going through Google's moon map. It's a virtual 3D object made with 2D photographs for the most part.
This one, I'm a few down, but this one's called Lunar Artifact.
Yep, this one I'm on right now too.
Eh. Some of these definitely are absolutely bizarre. Totally. Like the last one, the
Yep.
artificial thing. That's
Yeah,
certainly interesting, but I don't think that it's anything terribly
that's the one that looked
unbelievable.
That one's probably the one that's the most outstanding to me, but to me it looks like it is likely. It's hard to tell the scale of it, but it looks like it could be a part of a one of our craft that have been there.
Perhaps
It looks like an axle and wheels. That's what it looks like, but hard to tell with the definition. But it does look out of place compared to the terrain. And you know, my first instinct is man-made, not alien. But and by the way, Nate, if you're listening, I posted the video in the 12-hour or the research text chat. That's what the video we're looking at right now.
I do not have permission to look at any of those channels.
Oh, you don't? Okay. Well, welcome to the Midnight Hour. We are looking at internet videos of lunar phenomenon. I'll get you permission to that channel. Weird.
Ooh, I've actually heard of this one before. The
There you
pyramid
go.
on the moon.
I'll send that link to you also. I wish Chrome would work because Chrome has better features on YouTube. Well, maybe not better, but it looks better. Ha. It does work here. Just looks different on Chrome. Okay, and this is the photograph that repost that link has the exact timestamp, I think.
It's a new day because Bright House Network.
Oh, I'm not sure if that worked or oh well. But it's at approximately 7 minutes and 51 seconds. You said the pyramid.
Yes,
Is that number 2?
that was the final one.
Okay, final one. Pyramid of the Moon. Oh, anyways.
It's very interesting the way they were able to take the lighting effects, and you can kind of see it beforehand. You know, before they expose it to all those lighting effects.
Mm-hmm.
But it's definitely much less obvious. Exposing it to those light effects brings it out a lot
Yep.
more.
I wanted to point out in the second to the last photo, it's just an inverted crater, meaning that the lighting on the crater is reversed. So it looks like it's going outward rather than inward.
I mean, they do a pretty good job of explaining a lot of these as just anomalies, the anomalies that I'm sure they are.
I'm a massive skeptic.
People try to see things that aren't there all the time.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm a massive skeptic. So when I watch these videos, I'm just like,
Yep. And that's
yeah. Well, I mean, it's like I was telling Dave before, Nate. I said, you know, that humanoid shape on the moon. That's ridiculous. We always try to look for patterns and things that we see. The people that believe this are going to be the same type of people who believe that they saw demonic faces in the smoke in the buildings in 9/11.
Yep.
I'm at the 10-minute mark, and it says there's some sort of crater or whatever, which features rows of 7 light-like dots along its edge that led some to liken it to an alien base or spaceship, because we're all experts on what alien bases and spaceships look like.
Yes, exactly.
Yep, that's another thing you have to watch out for. And I do have to note that the YouTuber's name is, what is it, Hybrid Librarian. So just judging by his name, he's got a biased opinion.
Because he's a hybrid?
Yep, he is a hybrid librarian.
Part man, part librarian.
Scrag said StuffUCAnews.com.
World for him.
Okay, I have a couple other videos for the moon, and then we'll move on. Okay. I'm also posting this in the research category.
Oh God, the last one. By enhancing the image, we can clearly see a pyramid.
Yep.
Illuminati confirmed.
You can kind of see it before the image is enhanced, but still totally ridiculous. I love how they play it up like, because the photo doesn't technically exist, it's not on record, that that is evidence, some sort of evidence that there's a conspiracy. It's been covered up. There really is pyramids on the moon.
I'm checking out this link that Scrag sent.
Yes, I like that quite a bit.
That's funny.
Clearly a NASA cover-up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. Posting that.
the shopping basket isn't even projecting the right kind of shadows that you would expect.
Yeah, fake moon landings revealed. Heroic images or NASA fraud. Just what happened on the moon. At last, we have the conclusive proof. The image on the left clearly shows the supposed 25,000 of thrust generated by the lunar lander to arrest its descent. Yet, in the image on the right, where is the giant crater this would have created? Looks like the complex web of NASA lies is about to unravel. Yeah, another apparently inspirational image from the NASA archive. All seems fine at first, but notice the numerous directions on which the shadows are falling, marked with arrows. This indicates that the image is probably composed of several images taken at different times, probably in a top secret studio guarded by specially trained aliens working as government agents. And joined together using advanced technology, NASA always denies existence at the time.
This unknown machines video is kind of ridiculous. It's basically enhance, enhance, enhance. Let's trace over some stuff and be like, oh, there's a machine here.
I should probably switch over that too, because I was looking at that.
Which one's that?
The one I posted.
Unknown machine discovered on the moon 1772.
Unknown machines.
Here we go.
I go to that now too, so we're on the same page.
Security.
The guy is literally just picking out sort of random blurry objects, and as soon as he zooms in, he kind of says, "Oh, it's some mysterious thing."
Yeah, I'm showing the images, but I'm muting the audio for these videos just so that people have an idea. The link is there if they want to see it. Let's go to here on the YouTubes. And a lot of these people
This guy is definitely an expert on all things that would be not natural on the moon. I mean, just listen to him.
Now, the one thing I would like to point out is at 12 minutes, there is an interesting photograph. But I wouldn't say it's definitive. So you could start at like 12:30. If it's not a cheap like photo edit, that's at least interesting.
And those are what are the most amazing about this photograph. So let's go ahead and go back to the original finding. And when I saw this on the documentary, I said, man, that is amazing. And I thought to myself, I'm going to go online and I'm going to try to find often seeing here. And further, and boom, here they are. The same 3 wheels stacked one behind the other. And even with this version, we can still see a lot of detail. We can see the spokes, we can see the inner circles, you can see the details around these things, the artificial like they always do. And of course, they have people working for them who will personally attack us online. Let me know what you guys think. Check out these images for yourself.
Well, anyways, that's about all of that one that was interesting. Got one more link for the moon. Any comments on that last video?
I got nothing to say.
Okay.
I got nothing.
What, the one where he constantly zooms in
Mhm.
and says, "Oh, there's something here." Like, yeah, no.
NASA deliberately reduces the contrast and lowers the quality of the images. Oh, right. Good. Yeah. Since these are, old images that we're looking at.
And the camera was made in 1970.
Jesus. This is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Yep, you gotta have critical thinking if you're gonna go into the paranormal investigation field. Okay, and that's not to say that there aren't anomalies out there. It's just most of the ones that are purported by the
It
YouTubers.
looks like a dinosaur-shaped hole.
Yep. Yeah.
It must be a dinosaur. It's proof of life on the moon.
It seems to me a lot of these YouTubers are more interested in views, more likely, than the actual anomaly.
Stop saying donut. I'm getting hungry.
Okay. Oh, here it is. This is what I was thinking about. Moon anomalies anybody can see. Okay, here's the last moon link for this evening. Actually, didn't copy properly. Hold on. Okay, here we go. Posting in the Discord. Oh, wait, no, it did work. Just had a delay. Moon anomalies anybody can see. That's what we're watching now.
I started in the middle of the video.
That's fine. Probably won't miss much.
I mean, oh, you posted a timestamp link.
Oh, I did?
Yes.
Oh, was it meant to be at 3 minutes?
No. Yeah, go ahead, restart at the beginning. It's accidentally posted the wrong timestamp.
Really a wild place up here. Hey, Fredo, we sure picked a clear day to arrive. There's not much haze in the air at all. We can see all the way to the horizon. Incredible. Hey, I just saw a flash on the lunar surface.
Dome. Okay, number 6 is the first one at 1 minute. Dome in crater. Dome in crater.
That's the one that we are on.
See, a lot of these things are like, it can happen, but they're not saying, well, we have a hexagon-shaped crater, but then they're not saying aliens. They're just saying, you know, these things are here. Check them out.
Yep.
They are anomalous things to look at.
I guess that's fair.
Yes, absolutely.
Diamond crater. Or equal length sides. Wouldn't 4 equal length sides make a square?
I mean, yeah. That is just a square-shaped crater.
Okay, I just got to the Gassendi crater, and he went full. What is it? Full conspiracy theory there.
I'm at that one now. Gassendi crater.
Yeah. Well, why would there be anything at the center of a crater? Any guesses? I mean, it's not like something falls from the sky and lands in the center of the crater.
Large buildings with enter-exit pipes. Dirt ramp. Yeah, definitely. These are interesting things. Don't get me wrong. I'm not like these are
They can be.
interesting, but for somebody to say like to offer an explanation based on nothing.
Yep. You know, some of these also do appear to be just shadows and light, perceived by somebody with perhaps less than perfect vision. Which I'm not going to make fun of. It's just an observation of my own. Okay, so for the purposes of the future edits of this show, what I want to try to do is try to challenge people to send us links to not necessarily videos on YouTube, but things that are anomalous that are less, because these are kind of easy, things to debunk for the most part. But we want to find
Not by us.
Hmm?
Not by us. We're far from experts.
Oh yeah,
We're not debunkers.
we're not debunkers at all, but we want to find.
It's just the kind of thing where you look at it and you say, people naturally want to see they want to understand. They want to recognize patterns. So they're going to see things that aren't there.
Yep. And so yeah, when I watch these videos on YouTube and stuff, I am genuinely interested in finding things that are unexpected. So to filter out some of the easy ones like these, I'm just going to ask people watch this in the future on YouTube, send us links on the Extraordinary Experience channels when we're on, and you can also contact us at metavelvin.com and send an email or a message on Facebook. It's also on there. So anyways, I think that's it for this opening hour for the moon. Unless you have anything else to add, Nate or Matt. Have you ever seen any moon anomalies other than these?
No, but there is a total solar eclipse coming to America next year. I think it's September 22nd.
Perfect. We'll have to do a show that night, that day, as it would be. Is it in our hemisphere?
No, Monday, August 20. Wait, oh, damn it.
I've noticed, Matt, it's convenient that Thursday nights tend to have full moons.
Monday, August 21st.
It was very important to me to prove that I'm not a werewolf. People already think that I'm a vampire.
I guess
I work overnight all the time.
I should phrase that better because I said that poorly. That full moons each month tend to land on Thursdays, or at least close to Thursdays. So
the eclipse will be visible like almost across the entire United States. It'll be August 21st, 2017.
Great.
I personally will be asking for the day before, the day of, and the day after off. And if they can't give that to me, then I'll quit my job.
Nice.
Because I'm not going to miss this. I am not going to miss this even from my damn job.
It's a solar eclipse?
A total solar eclipse.
Yeah.
You do not want to miss it. It's just FYI, the total solar eclipse, that's the one you can look at once it's, full.
Now, just for the sake of viewers, what is so special about a total solar eclipse?
The moon will completely cover the sun. Partial ones only just kind of pass slightly by it and make a little, crescent. This one will pass directly in front of it, completely blocking the sun. And once it completely blocks the sun, it's safe to look at without, eye damage.
Yeah, I believe this happened once in our lifetimes that I remember.
Well, it happens like 3 or 4 times a year. It just
really
happens.
Well, in our hemisphere, I mean.
Yeah. This is like the first time in several decades that it's actually going to pass like right across the U.S. and everyone will get to see it.
That's cool.
So we'll have to make a note for that for the midnight hour. Cover that news when it happens.
The best area to view the eclipse will be along a narrow path that stretches across the country from Oregon to South Carolina. So Michigan may not be the best place, but if you go down to a crappy picture that is all low resolution, south of Virginia, maybe?
Okay. South of Virginia.
That should give you some time to get down there. If you're requesting the day before, the day of, the day after. Why do you need the day after?
Well, I gotta drive back.
You really are driving. I wasn't serious about that.
I would totally drive just to not miss it.
Okay.
All right. Maybe we'll make that.
What I'm probably going to do is find like a national park somewhere in the region where it passes through, because they always throw on a big event whenever big solar eclipses happen. Bigger national parks will be like, hey, everybody, come here, come to us. This is the place to see it.
Neat. What's the date in August again?
August 21st.
21st.
And like I said, I would lose my job to not miss this.
Okay, I made a note in the extraordinary or the midnight hours schedule.
I mean, it's kind of a big deal.
It'll be neat.
Last time there was an eclipse, I was in, I want to say it was it was early middle school, I think.
Yep,
and they wouldn't let us go outside because they didn't want us to, damage our eyes and look up at the sky. And I was so pissed off.
Oh, man.
Especially when I got home and my dad was like, it was so cool. And my mom was like, it was so cool. And it's like, screw you guys. You got to see shit. And I had to sit inside because they didn't want us to hurt ourselves.
Yeah, my mom let us go outside and look at it really briefly. Yep, that's sad. That's too bad.
You don't even need to look at it. You can actually cast shadows that create this weird curved effect. It's so cool.
What do you mean cast shadows?
if you like crisscross your hands into like a checker pattern, the shadow will be cast in like a sort of weird curved way.
I remember
all
that.
sorts of neat little shit like that.
Yep. And my mom did something like that, I remember. Neat. Also, 2 weeks from tonight, Matt, is also a Thursday night, but that's also the night of the new moon for this month. It'll be like, completely dark moon.
It'll be fresh and shiny and new, all
Yep.
cleaned up, ready to paint the town.
So, so once a month, almost every, almost once a month or twice a month, there's a moon event on a Thursday, with the full moon on a Thursday, Friday night, and the new moon on 2 weeks from that date in general. So, kind of fits with our schedule that we have already. Not that I'm timing the shows with the solar calendar for mystical purposes, it's just a coincidence, I noticed. Pardon me. I have a little bit of a cold tonight. But as I was telling Azathoth, that also makes my voice much more dark and sinister.
He got my cold through the internets.
Yep, I remember I told you about this.
Transmitted through a computer virus.
Yep, I told you about this, that it can happen.
No, that's bull.
It's called
It's
emergence.
going around. It's just going around. Everybody's giving it.
Okay. Well, I'm going to end this segment of the show where we talk about weird things, weird anomalies, or stuff that is interesting on the Midnight Hour. Okay, now we're going to move on to the featured game, which is free on Steam if Nate wants to download it, but I don't know how big. I don't remember how big it is though. It's Moonbase Alpha.
The game is free?
2 million terabytes. Do you have 2 million terabytes free, Nate?
I'll post that link in Discord.
It's
I've got 1,140 kilobytes free.
Moonbase Alpha.
I posted the link to the game in Midnight Chat. Which I need to give you access to, I think.
1.2 gigs.
Okay, there you are. Now you can, in the Midnight Chat section, there's a link to the game. Moonbase Alpha, which is apparently free. It looks pretty cool for a freebie.
We'll find out if it's cool or not.
And I'm going to briefly cut the stream so I can input the game title into Twitch and YouTube. We'll be back almost immediately, within like 2 minutes. So stay tuned for Moonbase Alpha.